morning to all HLP members here. Actually, it's a really a lockdown period now. The word lockdown is like everywhere. People talk about it everywhere. But this lockdown has, though it is a difficult situation, it has got a lot of good things also, isn't it, into our lives. Be it with the family, be it understanding the self, a lot of things. But when it comes to special needs and all, the lockdown is like once a child is born and you come to know, the lockdown starts then. But in that lockdown there are a lot of good things that happen, good things where we realize a lot of good things in life. So there are good part also in that lockdown, just as the lockdown that is happening here, it has brought a lot of good things. The same way this lockdown also has brought in a lot of good things for parents. Many of them realize that later, in the later part of the stage. So today's topic is about special needs, special parents, and what is special about all of this. So I just want to share the word special. When it comes to the word special, special is something unique, something great. When we hear, everybody likes the word special, isn't it? But when it comes to children, in the case of children, when it prefixes children, special needs, the moment the doctor or the therapist say that your child is a special child, immediately the feel that comes is of lack, fear, or something which is not okay, and it brings in a different meaning altogether. That makes it so different, isn't it? Where the word is so unique and you feel so good about it, but when it comes to children, it just happens the opposite. So I always keep wondering, why is it like that? Why is the word special? Why don't we make it really special for it? Why don't we make our life really special? And there are really ways to make it special like that. In context of that, actually, I would like to the next slide. I just want to go to the next slide. What is special needs? Special needs is like the term used is from the clinical definition. I would like to talk about it. It's used in a clinical diagnostic and functional development to describe individuals who require assistance for disabilities that may be medical, mental, or psychological. Special needs can range from people with autism, Asperger's syndrome, cerebral palsy, Down syndrome, ADHD, dyslexia, dyspraxia, blindness, deafness, etc. So special needs means individuals or people who need special care than the regular people. They need extra care, and that is where they're categorized into special needs. It's mostly for a lot of other governmental things and the rules and regulations and all. A lot of things they have kept this definition for those things. But this part of labeling, I would like to talk about the labeling part also, because labeling is something which really brings the child they feel less about themselves. Anybody, if somebody calls us, like if we are short, if somebody calls us that short person, or the tall person, or a fat person, will we like it? Actually, we don't like it, isn't it? The same happens to children also when they are categorized, especially children with dyslexia in school and all. When they are categorized like into learning difficulty, learning dyslexia, writing problem, reading problem, they really go through a kind of a low self-esteem. It's so difficult to bring that back actually to them. Many children have due to this labeling, they feel very very low actually in their esteem. So this labeling does a lot of problems, brings a lot of problems to children as such. Moving on to this from the introduction part, I would like to, the main part of this webinar, I would like to talk about the challenges that one goes through parent. When we are a parent, when the moment we come to know we are a parent, and we have a child with special needs, our whole life goes for a toss. It becomes like what we have been conditioned. When we are young, we have been conditioned like your life is like you're born, you go to the school, and then you go to the college, then your career, and then you go for higher studies, then you marry, and then your children. This is a conditioning, the usual conditioning of the society. But when we come to know that we have a child, who needs extra care, really the life just goes for a toss. What are the things, what are the things that happen to a parent? From a parent's perspective, I would like to talk from a mother's perspective, from my experience, what I have been through. And also as a special educator, seeing a lot of parents who have been through the same process. Whole lot of people go through the same process. The main issue that happens is with the self and also with the social interaction. These are the two main challenges that happen, that they that we have to face when we have a child. To the self, a lot of emotional factors, lot of emotions, like the moment you hear, it's a kind of non-acceptance, then a lot of fear, a lot of guilt, a lot of a feeling of lack, and then the question of why me, why am I actually put into this in circuit, why me out of whole lot of people, why am I chosen for this, where I have to, where my whole life is going to be different, where you are actually moving along with a crowd, you're moving along with a crowd, and suddenly you feel like you have been pushed and you have taken and kept aside, and now you have to continue with your journey. And now it is like, you don't even know like what has to be done, because it's a whole set of new things. What am I going to do? How am I going to take care of this? And and there is a whole lot of things happening where people start, you start blaming yourself. You start finding, where did I go wrong during my pregnancy, or did I go through a lot of stress to have a child like this? There will be extended family people telling you, no, you have been going through a lot of stress, and that's why maybe you have got. So the feeling of guilt comes in, the feeling of fear, where you'll be thinking about the future. What will happen to my child in future? So that fear grips in, a lot of feeling of less, feeling of lack, when you see people of your age, your friends of your age having children, so-called regular children, and then you don't even want to face them. So all these takes a big toll on you, not only you, even on your health, the health part of you. And then where you have the initial period where you really need the strength and the support and everything from yourself, from your family members, to cope up. Those are the years actually where you really sulk. The first few years, maybe you just go into a plane where you don't want to do anything. You just feel dejected, and you feel like, I don't want to live also. There will be time like, what life is this? How am I going to handle this? It's a lot of questions, and then the question of why me keeps coming to and fro. Why me? Out of the whole of this keeps on going. This is a normal procedure that goes on for a special, when you come to know that your child has some needs which has to be met more than the other regular children. Then a lot of things that happen is, um, what are we going to do next? How am I going to take help? Where am I going to go? Which therapist I have to go? Who am I supposed to meet? And they keep telling you what has to be done. It is all Greek and Latin for you. You don't even know like what are they talking about. Something so different. So all these things brings in a lot of problems to the self. You go through a lot. Why am I talking more about the self? What happens is, because when you go through a self and you are not there for your child, the child also doesn't respond. I'll tell you that from a different aspect when we just move across. I'll just keep telling you that. And one more thing before that I want to tell you is, you need not take any notes or anything here. Everything takeaway notes will be shared with you, and any queries you have, you can actually post it in the comment section of the FB page. Okay, so just a reminder for that. So a lot of things that happens to the self is why, because you are not able, it's something beyond you, something that has come. You don't even expect such a thing to happen, and then it is put in front of you, and then you are told to handle it, and now you don't know what to do with that. So this is what happens to the self. And the question is, are you ready to go through this lifelong, this way of going through the pain or the fear, the guilt, or are you ready to the, or are you going to address it? If yes, then how are you going to address it? Out of many things, actually, in special education, if you see, this is one small minuscule of topic that I've taken. I just wanted to bring in some awareness to the parents, because this is a foundation for everything. Foundation for everything, in the sense, if you are fine, only you are there to be for your child. Your child needs you. So the first step is for the mother, the parents, for the parents to be fine. Okay, so the parents to take care of themselves and be clear in what they have to do. For that, you have to know what are the things you go through. The one of the most important, there are many things that we can actually do to tackle ourselves. That the first thing, most important thing what I want to say is, are you ready to share what you're going through, your feelings? Whatever you go through, it can be anything, actually, it can be anything. Are you ready to share it with people? Let people know that what you're going through. You can have, maybe your immediate family, if you have, very good. Then otherwise your extended family or your friends, or a group, a support group, where you form, where you can share in, and you can tell, where you can share in all your things, and people also come out with your ideas, and then you come to know there are a whole lot of people there who have similar or more than that difficulties, facing difficulties. So it makes you feel that you are not the only one that you are going through. And then you also feel that you are getting the support, the ideas, how to go about with a child. It's not an easy thing. I'll never say it's an easy thing, but there are ways to tackle it. Just like how regular children are, if we try to look at them with those eyes, removing the difficult part, taking that special and making it really, yes, let me make it more special. Special in the sense, a unique, a greatness, an amazing thing. If you really have something in mind, how do you get that? Because you have to start seeking help for that. From a group, for me, what helped me is, for example, is in the initial period, I have got a good set of friends, who really supported me, who were there for me, and who used to listen, who have listened to each and everything of mine. It being as maybe a silliest thing also, I used to pour it out. And actually that got in, what you call, I could actually feel better, because the more you keep it to yourself, the more it becomes a burden. You will not be able to function at all. Your power keeps going down. So you will not have that agility or that feeling that I have to work. You always feel like sulking and sitting, oh God, why me? That thing will come. The more you start sharing with people, the more you see people are there to help you. Like-minded people will come to help you. And see to it that you share with a group who have the similar outlook, where you are not judged. Okay, that is also one of the aspects that you have to see. Because the moment you feel you are judged, again you keep going sulking on, and then you feel, why should I share it with some people who are going to judge me, who are there to give me lot of advices after advices. Actually, you if you really want to be heard, find a friend or a group of friend or like-minded people or anything like that. Start with that. You really find that difference. So this is what you have to do with the self part of it. The next challenge that a parent faces is social circle. That is the most important thing, because the moment you have a child like this, you feel, how am I going to face the world? My friends, my age appropriate friends, they all have children who are regular. How am I going to face this? Because I'm telling you, because I've gone through all these aspects. I just don't feel like talking to anybody. I never used to feel like talking to anybody. I used to feel, how am I going to talk about my child who have difficulties? What will they think? Where I was like that, and what am I now going to tell about my child? Those feelings used to really grip me a lot. So, but what happens is, when you really, that's what, when you have a group, when you start sharing with the group and all, you feel much more lighter. These are the typical challenges that comes in the social circles. Example, when you're going to a restaurant, the initial period, I still remember when my child was small. Now he's 18 years old, so I have come long. I've traveled long. So each and every part of it I have seen in my life. So during the initial period, when I used to take and all, the first question, for example, a restaurant, you go sit in the restaurant, and then I'll be thinking, how many people are going to watch me? It'll be like eyes will be going around, and I'll think, how many people are going to watch me, and what will be they be thinking about a child who's sitting next to me? uh, what child you have? It happens, actually. I'm being so honest, actually. Okay. So the food that you eat also, you're not able to enjoy. Okay, it happens that way. And but see, these are the challenges, the basic challenges I'm telling, that the mothers, parents face. Okay. And then the next is to functions, family functions and all. Actually, a lot of things I have sacrificed in my life, and I used to feel so bad. The initial period, you really feel bad. But when you have such a support group who are there to listen to you, who try to console you, who try to tell you what have to be done, how you have to look in a different aspect to life. When you have such a thing, you start changing your outlook. towards that. You start taking, then the group is there to support you, to take your child along, to show you how it can be enjoyed. It has really immensely helped me, and I pay so much gratitude to my friends who were there for me at that moment, because that has shaped me for what I am today. Today whatever I am, it's because of that, actually. Because when you really go out, that is when the real challenge lies there. How many of the people, because some of our children really goes through a lot of tantrums. They don't even bother like whether we are outside, inside, and all. For them everything is the same. So they are just what they are wherever they are. So how are we going to handle that? So are we going to look at the world and think what is the world going to think about us, or are we going to do like it is me who have to handle, and let me handle it? So how are you going to gain that strength? It's out of all these things. This is why am I talking about a group or a friends or an extended family who are there to support you, because this becomes the first most important aspect in your life. Then comes the rest of the things. For yourself I'm talking about. Okay. So you have to sacrifice a lot of your family functions. You feel very bad about it. You feel that I'm not able to enjoy, and that enjoyment is not there. Each and everything becomes a sacrifice. That's why I told about the lockdown part. Most of the thing is a lockdown. So but the good thing is, like, when this lockdown happened, I just want to mention that also. When this lockdown happened, our parents were the most easiest. They found it so easy to actually gel with it, to come into terms with it. Because for us every day is a new day. You get up in the for the day, and you think then only you start planning what has to be done. You cannot plan the previous day, because you don't know what is going to happen the next day. So you get up and you say, okay, let me take this day the way it has come, so let me go forward with it. So the lockdown is showing us that only. There are a lot of things that are happening, where the clock is only showing the weekdays and all those things. So this is the same thing that happens to special parents. So nothing new. But this lockdown has really proved it, that we are able to take it so easily. We take each day, every moment. We know what we really don't know what happens, and we are ready to take it also. We learn to take it actually that manner. So life becomes, everybody says you live in the present. Actually we are always in the present, because our child keeps us in the present all the time. So about the lockdown, I was telling about the family functions which you are not able to attend, the birthday parties which you are not able to attend. You can't take your child there. You feel the child will not be appropriate there. Maybe he will not be behaving well there. He may throw some tantrums, and people will talk something. Then you have to address to that. See, all these things brings your power down. It takes your power down, and it makes you feel, just because of this child am I like this? What am I going to do? So the whole life is there. What am I going to do with this? So it's generally about special parents that I'm talking about. All categories of children that come into it, be it autism, be it developmental delay, everybody has some or the other challenges there. So this is a general thing that happens, the things which happens to the self, and the thing which happens to the social circle. So why am I telling about so much specifying about parents? Is that both the parents, it's not only about the mother, it's also about the father. Why am I telling this? If you are not okay, the child is not going to be okay. You will not be able to do much for the child. The child needs you. If something is given into your hand, it's your responsibility to actually take care of it, isn't it? It's not only regular children, it's any child actually. I will not specify normal, because for me, I don't find any meaning in normal. Actually. Everything is normal. It's all only the way we look at it. Actually. Our perspective, what is normal. So the regular children, the children who are much easier, and the children who needs little extra care. So it is up to us. So how are we going to equip ourselves? So that day, a few webinars, Divya Chittur had put in her actually this thing of that spiritual embryo. And where she talks about the initial period of the imitation skills and the environment. The child brings in something, and the first few years, it's through in the environment, the imitation what the child learns. It's so important. That's why I'm specifying a lot about how the parent has to take care of themselves. When what you are is what your child is. Like, the way you are, the temperament you have, the mindset you have, the emotional state you are in is what your child is. That is what they know about. So when you have, the more better clarity you bring in, or the more you're going to take care of yourself and all those things, the child will also get in, because they're so pure. They just take, they are a reflection of us. It's what you are. When a child, for example, I just want to give you an example. When a child comes to our center for an assessment, okay, so maybe I'll be taking care of the child, assessing the child. My colleague will be doing the assessment with the parents and all. She'll be talking to the parents. When I sit with a child, I would have inferred some few things, giving the child the activity, how the child is responding to me, and all those things. I would be giving something like that. So, but later on, after 10 15 minutes, we both come together, me and my colleague come together, and we talk what happens. So, I'll tell my perspective, and what she has heard from her parents will also be the same, almost similar. Because the child brings in home to us. When the child comes to us, we know exactly what happens at home, how the child is at home with the parents, what is their mindset, what is the environment there. It's really happens. All the 15 years of my experience, this is what I have seen actually. So this happens. So exactly a reflection. So the first initial years are so important. Like Divya Chitu, that she had explained, is exactly the same thing. It applies to our children also. The same thing applies to our children. The boundary part which she spoke about, and all those things, excellent. All those things applies to our children too. So the self and the social part, which becomes, these are the two major challenges that we face within ourselves, what goes within ourselves, and also within the social circle. So what are we going to do? So this is a challenge that the parents face. So this is one set. Let me talk about the child's perspective towards this. Okay, the child's perspective. This is a book which I was so inspired with this book, Autism, A New Perspective. So it is written by this young guy who's 21 years old. His name is Jao Carlos. He is a severely autistic child, a guy who has no communication skills at all. He doesn't speak. He only writes. Only his mother can understand what he writes, And what he says in this actually really an eye opener, because all throughout our career in my school, we have always been following, like, what we are, what the parent is, what the child is actually. We always think the parent has to first understand for the child to really come up. There will be end number of therapies that you are giving, but how will that find result? So that is why this topic I have brought about. You can give n number of therapies. That's a different segment. I don't even want to talk about that actually. I'm talking about the foundation part, which has to be done first. From the child's perspective, he talks like the child goes through immense pain when the child is not accepted at all in the environment, into the family. And he says that the first person who has to change is the mother. The child wants the mother to accept, mother to love unconditionally the way the child has come. And from my experience, I can tell you with my child, this is really, it happens. Me, I actually did my course almost 15 years back, just to understand my child. I had no idea to work or anything like that. I just want to understand him, his medical condition, what is he going through. I just wanted to know that. And in the in the process, what happened is, after the course was over, actually I accepted him with his conditions. Okay, but there are a lot of other things which I had to work on. I understood his condition. Now I'm ready to help him actually. Okay, so this is what the child wants. The child wants the mother to understand first, accept him, love him unconditionally. And if the mother understands, from there it starts, to the father, to the family members, to the grandparents, to the siblings, to extended family. Then it goes to the neighborhood, to the society, to the community. So it builds in that way actually. We always keep thinking, society, the community doesn't even participate. How will it participate if it doesn't happen at home? It has to happen at home. The mother becomes the backbone for everything. By saying this, I will never put it like put the burden on the mother. I'm not talking about that at all. I'm talking, the mother has to understand first. He says that the mother has to understand, from there it goes to the other people. And if the mother respects and accepts and loves the child, everybody around them starts doing that. It's a chain reaction. That's a vibe that goes in. The child becomes more comfortable in their skin. They feel, yes, I've been accepted by my mother understands me. That's a starting point there. And then when you see every Because when you start respecting, accepting, loving the child, there's no choice for others. Others just see through your eyes. Through your eyes, they see the child, and they also start doing the same. You know, there are children in autism where they actually, he talks about that, where they tiptoe and walk. Their feet is almost away from the ground, like this they walk, their toes. And there's a lot of sensory aspect to it also, but from the spiritual point of view, actually they are away from the ground, away from the earth. They are not at all actually gelled with the energy of the earth. The energy around them has not accepted them, so they are not able to place their feet firmly on the ground. They are actually scared. The fear is there in them, to place it, because they understand the vibes a lot. Our children are so pure that they get the vibes. What are the vibes around us? So that they catch up very soon. That's why when we go to a child with sneeze, the children have taught us this. Whenever we go to a child, actually, the more we are clear here, the more we go without judgment, the, the more they accept us. They start responding. The eye contact they give you is so beautiful. You understand that because you have gone without any judgment. You have just got to assist. It's not that you're going to be superior person there and do something. They have come with their own things. They are so much more they can see through us. A lot of things they can see through us. We feel, since they don't communicate or they don't react, act, respond like how we do, we feel they don't understand. But they understand more than what we do. So this child, this Jao Carlos, he has actually explained in detail, and it's such a wonderful book. It was an eye opener. He says so much of immense pain it is for them when they see they have not been accepted into the community or onto the family first. And when it starts with the family, they're so happy that the n number of therapies you give, example, I can tell you, if you take to the finest, the best of therapies, sometimes it doesn't show any results. You know why? Because the problem lies here. The problem lies with the starting with the family. Have you accepted your child the way he is? It's not the therapist or the n number of things that is going to help you. It starts here. It starts here, and then it extends. When it starts here, you give him the therapy or whatever you want to give, you can give it. Everything starts showing results. At least for their ability that they have, you can bring whatever ability the child have, you can bring them to their best, actually. So this is where the challenges, we understand there are a lot of challenges, but are you willing to work? There is the solution for everything. You cannot just sulk and sit, oh God, what is this, and pity yourself. No, you're not here for that. Our child has not come here for that. It's our responsibility. The child has come. It's our responsibility to take care of the child, to give the best to the child. So the first best thing that we can do is take care of ourselves first. Take care of ourselves, take care of the environment. The child will start showing that. Then you will be your best. You will have the clarity what has to be done. You will get in a lot of solutions what has to be done. Then the thing starts keep moving forward. It starts becoming an amazing journey, actually. From the child's perspective, this is what I have to tell. They really want only love. They only look for love. Are you ready to love unconditionally? Are you there, just without anything to be there? That is a starting stage. That is a starting point. If you do this work, the other things are just taken care. So the next point which I want to take is the integration part. The integration part is where, a lot of people talk about inclusive and all those things, but what happens is a lot of inclusive programs I've seen. Sometimes there are many programs I don't like going also to these inclusive programs, because it keeps something away. It's something you're doing, something great or anything like that. It's shown like that, and it's only till there. Nothing actually takes forward beyond that. But what do we want as a community that we are in now? So where the service starts at home. For each parent, for us parents, it starts at home. You're given the child to serve. When you have the feeling that you're going to serve the child, and you feel you're so blessed. It's like a service. It starts at home, then it spreads to the community. When then the community part, if you have I know in this community there are regular parents, there are parents with special needs and all those things. So this goes alike for everybody, this message, where if you really find anybody in your neighborhood or in your family, extended family, if having a child like that, try to be, they don't want sympathy, the parents don't want any advices and all those things. If they need advices, they will surely come forth and ask, but they don't want any free advices. They want to be understood, that they are going through something and you are there, we understand, that part is enough. And when a child, like in there are a lot of communities now, gated communities and all, if you really see a child there and all, can you include the child along with other children without any judgments, without giving a feeling to the child that there is some problem with you or anything? And when, as parents or anything, you take up the initiative to do that, your children also will start doing that. And for the regular children, you are building in a lot of compassion there. They start looking at it like, they are also one among us. There is nothing different about them. Like how different plants, for example, if you see some plants, like, there are tulsi plants, hibiscus plants, and rose plant and all. Do we call them special tulsi plant or special rose plant? We never address like that. We all are different, we all are unique. We need not put that, a special there. They only want to be included like any regular person, any human being. We are all come to this world, we are all the same. All souls that we have come here, we're all the same. We only want to be understood. From the parents side, they only want to be understood and given that pat that you are not alone. We are here, actually you are included, without any judgment, without any questions. So there are, you can also actually, some of parents don't even get any, it's 24/7 actually. They don't even get, maybe in the night also you'll not be able to sleep. Some parents can't even sleep night, because some children have a lot of sleep problems and all those things. So if you can give a break to the child, saying, break to the parent, sorry, saying that, just take a break, we are there for your child. You just have your time, that me time for yourself. We are here. That's when that integration happens, inclusiveness happens. Many of our children, school going children who are dyslexic, who have learning difficulties, they go through such a low self-esteem, because we have seen it really into our lives. They go through so much of low self-esteem. They feel there is some problem with them. They don't perform in school just because they feel this lack. They are not being included. They are kept aside, saying that you have problem, you don't perform in your class, and you are not getting any grades. Their parents are called, they are put under a lot of pressure. This is not required at all. They have their abilities. Once you just push them above their this thing, it is okay, you can do it. They actually flourish. We have seen children who come to us for remedial session, especially children who have learning difficulties. We don't work on their academic point, we just work on their self-esteem first. Self-esteem, confidence that you can do. And we actually really motivate them. Even if they do a small thing, we tell them, wow, super, this is what it is. They wouldn't have got that at all from anywhere, because they've always been told that you don't perform enough. So that brings us to almost 25% of our population in India, I think so. 25% of population have difficulties some way or the other. It can be learning difficulties, very high autistic child, or any, they come into all this category. 25% of the population is like that. Are we going to keep this 25% aside and tell them that you are different and you let you be there? So we being a community now, I would like to just tell that, why don't we start from our community to do something, integrate, where we find in our neighborhood or immediate neighbor or extended family. In your family itself, maybe you may find people who are like that. Why don't you just understand that they need that, they only need to be accepted with a love. Just ask them, how are you? Or to the parents, we really understand what you go through, we are there for you at any moment to help you out. You are also one among us, to tell them that that's all they need. It brings in so much energy. They feel confident, because we all, what is that we need? We all need to be, we need a belonging. We all need, as a human being, we need love, we need the belonging. And when that belonging comes, you feel at ease with yourself, and you are there for the next step of your life to perform, to do for the child, because this part is taken care. The belonging part, the need part, I know there are a lot of people behind me to support me, to help me, to be there with me. So as a community, can we take up something like that and do something for our children as a human, as a whole? Not keeping them aside, not telling them you are special in a very different way, telling them you are really special and great. Are we there for all these children like that, for the parents like that? If you are able to do, if this less lesser group of people are taken care, our society will start progressing. That's where the progress starts, when the less fortunate, or people who have a lot of difficulties are taken care and integrated and got together. It starts with our neighborhood, with our family. Let's start taking small steps towards that. From a child's perspective, it's only that's what they want. I always, it's only the acceptance and love, that's the starting point. And then they are ready to show their talents, whatever is hidden in them, then it comes out. Actually, you need not take much more effort and all, but only these things have to be taken care, is what I feel.